Hi everybody and welcome back to another in the series of evergreen videos that we are putting up on the site so that people know how we do things. They are not timed. They are designed to be up there a long time, although we can replace them if things change, but they will not have a live bet in, but they will explain a bit more about what we do and how we do it. This is a very important one. This is, of course, the one entitled Bet Selection, or to put it another way, how do we make our bets? So firstly, let me start by saying we use models. So the models we use are based on numerous things that we can't give all the details out, but suffice to say that two of the main inputs are goals, therefore match outcomes, expected goals, and a varying degree of emphasis is placed on the long term, medium term, and into the short term. It doesn't really matter too much about how the models are generated, although patrons and subscribers to our services can receive the output of the models by just requesting and joining one of our services, and they will then receive our predicted scores for each match, our predicted expected goals for each match, and our allocation of how the total goals will be broken out. More importantly than this is the way the models work is how the leagues that we cover work. So we cover main leagues. We have to have leagues that have professional standards and intact XG data. I prefer XG data to be from two sources rather than one. So at the moment, the main leagues being covered are the main European leagues plus Brazil, but things like Argentina, K-League, J-League can all be added at the drop of a hat and will be as we go along. The championship is a slightly odd one out because not many second tier leagues are covered in as much detail as the English Championship, so we of course cover that. It's worth stating at this point that we have a 5-match rule in place. We don't bet on any football match if the league hasn't got 5 games in it already. Sorry if I said 5 goals before. By which I mean the first 5 game weeks of the season are not covered, they are just building up data. It goes without saying that any smaller sample size than that isn't accurate, even 5 games isn't accurate, but our members want bets by game week 5. We can't hold them off any longer, regardless of what the statistician in me would say. That's just how it is. On to how we select our bets. Now, we select our bets using the Asian handicap market and the Asian total goals market. The reason we use these markets is because they have more small inferences of data. So there are more small changes which correspond more closely to our decimal place markets. For example, with a total goals market, we don't just want over and under 2.5 goals, or sometimes over and under 3.5 goals. We want over and under 3. We want over and under 1. Similarly, with the Asian handicaps, we don't want the teams to just win by a goal because then we can get draws, which don't suit. We want teams to win by a goal or goal and a half or even a quarter of a goal. And that corresponds more in how we are looking at these games. I'm certainly not saying that our members and our patrons bet that way. They are not. As I explained on almost every video, if I find value for me in, say, the over and under 2 goals market, and so say I think there's going to be a lot of goals, but I think the bookmakers are valuing it as less than a lot of goals. So the bookmakers are thinking it's going to be 1.5 goals. I'm thinking it's going to be 2.5 goals. I'll call that value. That means that whatever sort of bettor you are and whatever you like to bet on, it is likely that the entire book is undervalued on anything correlated to goals scored. So that could be an individual player's chance of scoring. That could be an individual player's chance of scoring 2. That could be anything related to the supremacy of that team. And so it's worth noting that although we bet on just 2 markets and we look for our even bets, which we've explained before, there are loads of ways to play our plays, and it's just up to you to have a hunt around. We will give out loads on the podcasts and on the tips, and if people ask us Q&As, we will explain how you can find value in these markets. But it's not a secret and it's not difficult to any experienced punter. And we would not expect anyone to be taking our service who isn't an experienced gambler. All we're providing is an extra pick to people for free on YouTube, on the daily podcasts, on the audio podcasts, and to anyone who's in our Patreon, they will get all of our picks sent to them, and they will be able to go through all of our predictive scores, find out where there's value, and use that to build bets to however they like, whether they like outsiders, favourites, or as we do, even money bets. It's worth saying at this stage that when I'm doing the audio podcast, the daily podcast, I start talking about bets and leans. So for me, it's simple. I go down the list of my predicted scores, which you can have if you're a patron, and I am looking for the market to be offside from me by a whole goal. If there is a value of a whole goal versus the market versus my model, then that's a bet. And I will construct a bet. I will pick one of these bets to tell you about in the daily podcast and the audio podcast on YouTube. And I will bet on all of the ones that are bets, and our premium WhatsApp subscribers will get all of those bets as and when we make them. That's the bet. So that's the big bet. We also generate quite a few leans every day. And a lean is nearer to half a goal supremacy, half a goal value. And so when you have leans, it's not possible for us to make bets because we only bet on 50-50s, but it may be possible for you, or you might want to include them in accumulators. And as such, it's up to you how you use the leans. The way we use the leans is we try and do trading in play and create 50-50 chances with a 50-50 with a evens payout. So what we're looking for is, say we, for example, think there's going to be more goals than the bookies think. When the further game starts and the goals drop off, the price of the goals, we might get our value after 15 minutes. So there's lots of ways to trade overs and unders. There are famous strategies online for doing this. And so if you combine one of those strategies for trading the overs and unders, and you combine that with our leans, you will be profitable. There's no doubt about that. And finally, I would like to reiterate when making a bet selections, again, as I said in yesterday's Protect Your Bank Evergreen video, you need a portfolio of bets. Most betting does not work if you just pick one bet and put your money on it, because you could win or you could lose. We bet on multiple outcomes and expect to win more than 50% of our bets, and we expect to return evens on all our bets. And as long as we win more than 50%, we will always be up. As long as we follow our staking plan, we will always be in play. Revisit the staking plan Evergreen video, which is on the site, and we will see you in the daily podcast. That was how to select a bet.